Another wide receiver that's got plenty of competition in the target sweepstakes, DK Metcalf. It feels like this offense could absolutely explode, but with so many mouths to feed, you've got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, outproduces ADP year in, year out. They've obviously highly drafted rookie and Jackson Smith and Jigba. Then you've got the likes of Noah Fant. Plus, we've got the running backs, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet. Like, is there just too many mouths to feed for DK Metcalf to produce that wide receiver one season that he's been drafted to hopefully produce?
Yeah, and so let's look back at last year. He finished as the wide receiver 25 in half PPR points per game, and now he's going as the wide receiver 16. But what's changed since then to make us believe that he's going to take a step forward? It's, the team added Jackson Smith and Jigba, as you said, who is a volume hog. He's the kind of player who commanded targets at a higher rate than Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave in college. So we know the Seahawks want to play more three wide receiver sets. Jackson Smith and Jigba's going to be out there, whether it's to start the season or as the season goes on. DK Metcalf's never really separated from Tyler Lockett in terms of team target share. They've always been very similar in what they've had. And it's just very difficult for me to get on board with DK Metcalf really breaking into that elite tier. And the cost of drafting him where he is quite difficult. Last year, he only had 5 top 15 weekly finishes. And for a player that you're drafting sort of like on the fringes of round 3, early round 4, I kind of want a little bit more of that. I think that if JSN does start eating into the targets and if he really becomes Gino's favorite target in those layup ones, then Tyler Lockett's still going to eat. We've seen that this offense, they do like to get the tight ends involved. And I think that DK Metcalf is going to have a monster year in terms of touchdowns to be able to pay off on this cost. And it's just not something I want to gamble on.
Yeah, it feels interesting, doesn't it? You wouldn't be shocked if any one of these 3 wide receivers finished as the lead wide receiver in terms of fantasy production. You wouldn't be shocked if any of these 3 wide receivers finished as the third wide receiver. Yet one of them is going 3 rounds ahead of the other 2, and I just can't get my head around that. So I think DK Metcalf is absolutely one of those players that falls into my Calvin Johnson theory of people overdraft him because he's big, because he's fast, because he looks good and he's exciting. But actually, if you look at the numbers, there's not really much evidence that he should be going around ahead of Lockett and JSN, let alone 3 rounds. So, yeah, I'm very much on board. This is a guy that I think at cost we should probably be avoiding.